huge warning just came down from the nation's top employment watchdog, and it's aimed right at the diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, DEI, running inside America's biggest companies. So let me ask you this. For years, having a DEI program was just good business, a best practice. But the ground is seriously shifting, and that same program you built to be inclusive could now be a massive legal risk. The real question is, are you ready for that?
All right, so here's what we're going to cover. We'll dive into this new legal landscape. We'll look at the official warning, pinpoint exactly which practices are now risky, and then we'll pivot to solutions, how you can stay compliant, and what's next for the world of DEI.
So let's start with how in the world we got here. For a long time, corporate DEI felt like a clear win, a straightforward path to a better workplace. But after some major legal shifts, especially around affirmative action, that solid ground is starting to crack, revealing some serious legal tripwires for even the most well-intentioned companies. And here's the real heart of the issue. So many companies built these programs with the absolute best intentions, right? They wanted to create a more diverse, more equitable workforce. But the methods they used to get there, well, those are now being challenged under anti-discrimination laws. And that's creating a huge headache for HR and legal teams everywhere. And look, this isn't just some legal theory floating around. The alarm bells are ringing because of a very direct, very public warning from the head of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC. Now, the language here is what's really telling. To give you a feel for it, just imagine an EEOC chair saying something like this. Notice how they separate the goal of diversity, which they call laudable, from the methods, which have to be lawful. And a phrase like investigating them vigorously? Wow. That's a massive signal to every executive and general counsel that the agency is taking this stuff very, very seriously. It's a huge shift in focus. Okay, so what are we actually talking about here? What specific things are putting companies at risk? Let's zoom in and see what's really under the microscope. All right, this right here maps out the main danger zones. We're talking about programs that are exclusive, mentorships that are only for women or internships that are reserved only for certain racial groups. Also in the hot seat, setting hard quotas for hiring, and, this is a big one, tying manager bonuses to hitting those demographic targets. Basically, any program that even looks like it's favoring one group over another is now a potential legal red flag. And this isn't some small trend either. To really put the risk into perspective, just imagine a scenario where claims of reverse discrimination filed with the EEOC have doubled since 2024. A number like that, even if it's just illustrative, makes the danger feel very real. It shows that people are actively starting to challenge these programs, and the EEOC is listening. Okay, so that's the problem. A little scary, right? But what's the solution? The idea isn't to just scrap DEI entirely. It's about making it smarter and legally bulletproof. This next part is all about what you can actually do. I really love this slide because it just makes the whole thing so clear. It's a simple, don't do this instead. So on the left, you've got the risky stuff like setting a hiring quota. The safer, smarter alternative, focus on broadening your recruitment pools to get more diverse candidates in the door in the first place. Instead of an exclusive mentorship program, you create one that's open to everybody, but with a special focus on helping underrepresented talent grow. You see the pattern here? The big shift is from exclusion and mandates to inclusion and opportunity.
And here's a super simple 3-step framework you can use. First, review. Get your lawyers involved and do a privileged review of every single DEI initiative. Second, revise. This is key. Shift your focus from guaranteeing equal outcomes to creating equal opportunity. And third, reframe. Go through all your communications and make sure the language is all about inclusivity and access for everyone.
So where does this all leave us? What is the future of DEI? I know it might feel a bit like a retreat, but a lot of experts are actually seeing this as a necessary and, frankly, positive evolution. And honestly, this is the single biggest takeaway. This whole legal shakeup is forcing DEI to get back to its roots, that core principle of equal opportunity. The programs that are going to last, the ones that are truly effective and legally safe, are the ones that are designed to lift everyone up, not just a few specific groups. Which leaves us with one last really big question to think about. Is this a moment of reinvention? Is this a challenge that's going to make DEI programs stronger, smarter, and more effective than ever? Or is this the beginning of the end for these initiatives as we know them? The answer to that is probably going to shape our workplaces for years to come.